Hello. The dreaded graphing is coming.
That's okay.
Alright, first thing you have to find is what between all three of these? The zeros, right? This one's easy. What's the zeros here? -2 and +1. And what else? What else? +4. Okay, here we go. So we're going to graph those. No. You want it in factored form. No. Patience, grasshopper. Okay. I need to know my degree. When they're in factored form, then what do I have here?
4.
How'd you get that?
Because there's one exponent, 2 exponents, and a square.
There you go. 1 + 1 + 2 is a degree of 4. Is everybody okay so far? So what does that mean my picture is going to look like if it's a 4? It's going to be a W, right? So I know my picture is going to be a W. So what does that mean about my end behavior? Is my end behavior both going to go up or both going to go down? And how do you know that?
Oh,
Why?
there's no negative in front.
There's no negative in the front. Very good. So I know this one's going to go up, and I know this one's going to go up, right? Y'all okay so far? All right, here we go. Let's start with the first one, -2. Straight line, because it's exponent of 1. Do not connect them, okay? You draw your lines, then you connect them, okay? The next one's +1. What kind of exponent does +1 have? A 1, which means he's going to be a straight line, correct? But do I need to do him to the right, or do I need to do him to the left? To the left, because he's got to connect down here, okay? So you draw your line, and then you just connect these with a curve. Do y'all remember doing this? Okay. Now, if I were to FOIL this, this would be x - 4 and x - 4, not x - 4 and x + 4. They wouldn't be conjugates. It would be the same thing. It would be 2 x - 4s. I mean, x - 4s. So what does that mean happens there? Matthew? A parabola. That means there's going to be a parabola right here, okay? So you draw your parabola first. Draw your parabola first with the 4 as your vertex. Then you connect these. You see the W that was there now? All right, what's wrong with 11 and what's wrong with 12? What's wrong with both of them?
11 is a negative. They're not factored.
They're not factored, Gracie, and they have a negative in front, right? So that means if they have a negative in front, what do they all have in common? Negative x, right? So that means that I would have +x squared, +7x, and +10. And I still need to factor that. So that would be x + 3, or excuse me, x + 2, and x + 5. So what are my 3 zeros? Very good. Nope, I don't have enough room for -5, so we're going to put one more line over here. All right, what's my degree?
3.
How'd you get that?
The exponents.
The exponents, when it's in factored form, you add them up. 1 + 1 + 1 is 3. Or if it's in standard form, you just look at the biggest exponent, right? So the degree is 3. What does that mean about my ends? What do they do if I have an odd degree? Opposite ways, right? Okay, now here we go. You ready? If it's odd and even, the first one goes down, the second one goes up. But ours is odd. Why did I put odd and even? Odd and positive is what I meant. Ours is odd and negative, right? The first leading coefficient is negative. So the first one's not going to go down. The first one's going to go up. Bless you. Second one's going to go down. So my first end behavior is going to go up. My second end behavior is going to go down. What? What? Bless you. All right, let's start with a negative. Bless you. Let's start with a -5. The -5 has what kind of a line? Straight line. Well, with a diagonal a little bit. All right, what about the -2? Straight line the other ways. Then I connect it down here. What about the 0? The exponent is 1, so it's a straight line. And then you just connect it up here. Y'all okay?
I mean, why would it start off? Because on number 10,
You have to remember what the parent graph of the cube looks like. Parent graph of the cube, where does the first end behavior go down? Second one goes up. So if it's odd and positive, the first one goes down, second one goes up. And if it's odd and negative, it's backwards. All right, let's look at the last one. You ready? How do I factor that? Grouping. So let's see, if I group it, what do the first two have in common? X squared. It's going to be x plus 7. What do the second two have in common? -1. That'll be x plus 7. That'll be x plus 7 and x squared minus 1. So that means my answer is x equals -7. And x squared equals +1. So what does x equal? Plus and minus, how much? 1. Very good. So I have x equals 1, x equals -1, and x, oh crap, I really didn't leave enough room for 7. 5, 6, 7. Sorry, y'all. I really didn't leave enough room for that one. All right, here we go. What's my degree? I need to know my degree. 3. When it's in standard form, you look at the biggest exponent, which is 3. All right, so it is odd and positive because the leading coefficient is positive. What does that mean my first end behavior does? Goes down. My last one goes up. So this one goes down. My last one goes up. Y'all okay? All right, -7. He has an exponent of 1. That means he's going to go straight up. All right, now look, here we go. You ready? This is the one. I think this was on your quiz or a checkpoint or something that got y'all. Between +1 and -1, between both of them, they're not my vertex, but between both of them, what's happening at both of those points? A parabola. So that means the parabola goes through both of those points like this. And then you just connect these with a curve. It may have been on your study guide or something. This problem was on something. Okay, here we go. Grab the ACT stuff and let's look at that. We also need to look at how to do our ACT quicker. That means your calculator should be out, ready to go. They're opened, they're on, and you're ready. You got it good? Okay, here we go. We got to start figuring out how to do these ACT problems a little bit quicker because time is money. 16 through 20. All right, your homework last night was to get on Google Classroom and check the answers. So, do I need to go over 16? Anybody need 16? Yes? Okay. So, for 16, it said that I need to, what's the y-intercept? Okay, so first thing you have to do is find your slope. So, changing y over changing x. What are my two y's? 6 minus 2. And if you start with 6, what x value must you start with? -3 minus 3. So, that is 4 over -6, which is the same as -2/3. Now what do I do with that? I pick one of my points. I'm going to pick this one because they're smaller and positive. Which one's my y value? 2. So remember y equals mx plus b? Y is 2. M is negative 2/3. X is 3 plus b. 3's cancel out. So I have 2 equals negative 2 plus b. Add the 2 over. And so what is that y-intercept? 4. All right, number 17. Number 17 is very, very easy. You just have to remember how to deal with fractions, okay? We did one like this yesterday. How do I figure up the missing distance right here? What do I do to these 2 points? Add them together and then subtract it from the original. Now, if you make these improper fractions, it's going to make your life easier. So let's see. 16 times 2 is 32 plus 1 is 33. 4 times 4 is plus 3 is 19 over 4. 8 times 11 is plus 5 is 93 over 8. So here we go. We got to add these 2 together. Common denominator is, so multiply this one by 4. So what do you get? 33 over 16 plus, add those together and you get 109. There you go. So add these 2 together, you get 109 over 16. Then what do I do with that answer? I subtract it from 93 over 8. So 93 over 8, subtract 109 minus 16. Common denominator is 16. Hopefully you're getting this and you're not just drawing something. So that'll be 93 times 2 is how much? 186. Did you say 86 or 06? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said 06. And then subtract those and you get?
77.
That sounds right. Divide those. What's your whole number? What's 77 divided by 16? 4. So you know it's not going to be C, B, or A. What's 16 times 4?
Wait, what did you do?
Divide these two. 77 divided by 16 is 4 point something. How much?
64.
64. So then find the difference between 64 and 77. 13 over 16.
I did not do that.
If you do decimals, it'll give you the same thing.
Yeah,
77. 77 divided by 16 is 4. So what's 4 times 16? How many wholes of 16 will go into 77? 64. Now what's the difference between 77 and 64? 13. That's where I got the top number. Then you keep your denominator. Alright, if you do decimals, it'll do the same thing. Here we go. 18. Do I need to do 18? We are moving on to 18. 18, 18, 18. Yes? Okay, here we go. So you've got a pond that is 180 centimeters, and that is being reduced. So what does that mean I'm going to do next? Subtract by 1 centimeter per week. So how do I write 1 per week? 1x. There you go. You got another pond that's being, let's see, that's 160, that's being reduced by 1/2. Guys, how can you write a half since it's a terminating decimal? 0.5, and then it's per week, so x, right? And then it wants to know if this continues at a constant rate, and how many weeks will they be the same? Guys, what does the same mean? Equal. So you set the two equal and solve for x. Yes, y'all did. And let's see, subtract the 160. That'll be 20 minus 1x equals negative 0.5x. Add the 1. That'll be a positive 0.5x. Divide by a half. X equals 40. 20 divided by a half. 20 divided by 0.5. Use your calculator. Divide it in your calculator. You added it to the other side, and you get positive 0.5. Alright, what about 19? Does anybody need 19? 19 going once?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Really?
I wasn't here yesterday, so I just...
Which one does not represent a line?
E.
Why?
Because it has a squared. That's the next one.
Thank you. 20. Do you remember SOHCAHTOA?
Yeah, but
Number 20?
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't going number 19, though. Okay. All right. Here we go. Let's see. SOHCAHTOA. Well, you better get used to it because you got a whole quarter of it coming up, fourth quarter. All right. Here we go. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. That's what that means. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. And tangent is opposite over adjacent. That's what all those letters mean, okay? So the first one it says is cosine of A. From A, right here, cosine is adjacent. Which one is adjacent? 5, 12, or 13? 5. Do we have a 5 in part F? No. G says sine of A. So sine is opposite over hypotenuse. What is the opposite from A?
12.
12. Do we have a 12?
Yes.
Yes. What is my hypotenuse? 13, because the right angle points directly to your hypotenuse, and that does have a 12 over 13. There you go. Y'all okay? You got it good? All right, all right. Here we go. Let us do our checkpoints for today. Does anybody need any of the 3 checkpoints? I will. Yep, we'll jam out and do some music, and that's all we're doing today. Is we're doing a review. All right, last call. Anybody need any 3 of the reviews? Last call for, not for reviews, checkpoints. Last call for checkpoints. Checkpoints going once. Checkpoints going twice. Last call, anybody need one? Okay, here we go. Grab checkpoints 3, 4, and 5. That's the full sheet of paper, the half sheet of paper, and the other half sheet of paper. You can turn your desk and get in groups. You've got about 25 minutes for a review because come Monday, we're moving on, okay? All right, here we go.